shortcuts. Midas Infinity.
No shortcuts.
I'm here to give you motivation and a little bit of inspiration.
No shortcuts.
Me and the boss ain't easy. Every day somebody needs me.
It's no shortcuts.
I wake up stretched, say a prayer, coffee and then some fresh air. Time to get it poppin'. I got a fresh 24. Hopefully I'm blessed with plenty more. Meanwhile, I'm thankful for the fire on the inside burning. I keep earning as the world keeps turning. The thing about life is you never stop learning. Hoping everybody Maxwell, Vernon. You make a plan, then you stick to it. Even in tough times, get through it. So get to it. And make sure your family's straight. We going worldwide, you understanding me, mate? Providing a platform where like minds can meet. Closed mouths don't get fed, want everybody to eat. On Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. Tuesdays at noon, let's all get rich. It's no shortcuts. Tell a friend to tell a friend about the No Shortcut Show.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what today is. Today is Tuesday. You know what the time is. It's 12 noon. You know what that means. It's time for another installment of your favorite show, internet sensation, the No Shortcut Show, ladies and gentlemen, with Midas and Fame. Give me my theme music. Give me my theme music. Ladies and gentlemen, come on in. Welcome. While you're coming on in, you guys know the drill. You know the routine. Drop us a hi, drop us a comment. Let us know where you're tuned in from. And also, feel free to share this on your individual timelines as we proceed. Our slogan here, more the merrier. We got Juan Velasquez in the house. Y'all come on in so we can give you a shout out right quick before we proceed. We got Juan Velasquez here. Shout out to everybody on Facebook. Hey, Mom, love you. Thank you so much for you guys' support. Juan, faithful supporter, honorary sponsor. You know what I mean? My brother is here. Me and him were just on the phone chopping it up. Juan's here, my mom's here, my brother's here. Yeah. Love all of you guys. Thank you all so much for supporting our endeavor here at No Shortcuts. And as we always say, Famous and I may be the faces of the platform, but it's you guys that, keep our boat afloat, and your support every week is truly well appreciated. So y'all come on in again. Feel free to share. Feel free to send the link to some friends, or anybody that you might wish to join our community. Feel free, guys. Feel free.
Absolutely. Miss Sarah Hart, thank you for joining us as well.
Oh, Sarah Hart's here. Okay. Yeah. So we got Sarah here, Juan's here, my brother Matt's here, my mom's here. Yeah, we got some people not saying hi just yet. We see the numbers, guys. If you're on YouTube, we'll see all the comments. Famous on his side of things, executive producer, he sees all the comments. I see some of them. The chairman of the shorts are all here. Is he talking about the reels and such?
Yeah, what's up? Nikki Louder, thanks for joining us. First time watcher of our platform, here to support Bruce. Yeah, she's here for our guest. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe, Nikki, as well. Join our group. Also, we'll put the link up to our YouTube page so you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see the previous 66 episodes before this one, because they're all going to be a lot of fun. So check out all our previous ones.
I just saw Miss Pam Vincent creep in here.
Hey,
she celebrated a birthday yesterday. Pam, I hope you saw the post that we made for you in our No Shortcuts community yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, a Motown legend is in here with us today. She contributed numerous large amounts of background vocals, background vocal arrangements to a lot of records that you guys have listened to over the years. And shout out to Miss Pam Vincent. Also shout out to her husband, Hollywood. They were previous guests of ours. And also, if you guys in our No Shortcuts community, with that happy birthday post, I included a link to their episode of No Shortcuts from YouTube, as well as a link with a little bio giving you guys a little overview of Miss Pam Vincent's career.
Yeah.
It's a
Make sure you
pleasure for us
make
to
sure
have
you
her
check
here.
out that episode with Pam in Hollywood. She had that Stevie Wonder story I'm still thinking about.
Yeah, no, it was one of our most favorite episodes. We had a
Yeah.
lot of fun, good laughs, good people, man, and
Hmm.
they were very informative and gave me us as entertainers and musicians a deep dive into their illustrious careers, and we
Yeah, yeah.
appreciate you guys. Everybody loves a little music. My
Faith is
sister is
here.
here. Faith
Faith.
is here. Yeah, okay, we got the whole
Thanks for
fam.
joining us, Faith. It's been a while since Faith has been able to join
Yeah,
us
she's
live,
been
I know.
busy
She's
being
been working.
the curriculum coordinator, if I'm not mistaken, Faith, at the school which you are, with school
Yeah.
being back in and everything, and everybody's been a little spread out and a little busy. But we thank all of you for not counting it robbery to come join us on a Tuesday at noon. Hey,
Yeah.
Pam, what's happening? Happy
Hey,
birthday!
hey.
Can we hit the horn one
Good to
time
see
for
you.
for Pam's birthday for
Absolutely.
yesterday?
She's not gonna get the Matthew bicycle horn. She's gonna
Not the
get the real
clown horn. We want to hit
Let's get the real deal.
the
So we have a few people that's gonna be joining us for the first time, Midas. So tell them what this show is and who are these guys they're watching and why.
Man, who are these people?
What is this show? What's
Who
this show
are you?
about? Is this
Yeah,
show about
ladies-
shout outs?
Yeah, well, so far it's been about shout outs, but we
Yeah.
get a little bit deeper than that, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
If it's your first time here joining us at No Shortcuts, this is a platform that was the brainchild of DJ Famous and myself. Yeah, Matt, your patented horn.
That's your horn.
Yeah, so what we wanted to do was do something that centered around entrepreneurship, being that we both are involved in the entertainment industry, and we've been fortunate and blessed enough to have that as our careers. We wanted to showcase and feature other people, not necessarily that did music. You didn't have to be a DJ. You could be a cake decorator. You could be a mobile bartender. You could have an online store like my brother. You could have a outreach ministry like my mother with the Hour of Power. Whatever it is that you do, ladies and gentlemen, on our platform, we wanted to have guests on to showcase whatever industry or field that they were in and tell us a little bit about their journey, get us a little more familiar with themselves. Also, along that story, there's always going to be little pitfalls, and not just pitfalls, but also things that they did to help themselves succeed. And from other people's story, we can take bits of that information and we can apply it to whatever it is that we are doing. Not only do we talk about just entrepreneurial things, but we talk about life things in general. We cover briefly, like for instance, even the fact that AI is coming out and it's a slow takeover, giving opinions and feedback on that. So that's what we do here, ladies and gentlemen. So we want to be an encouragement. CJ, what's up? CJ,
CJ
a former
Bell,
guest
what's happening?
from the shout out to the Tams and the 14 karat gold band.
Yes.
See you guys Saturday at Emerald Isle. See, I can cover comments and do what I'm doing. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen,
host, man.
oh man, yeah, look, God is good, but nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, we want to, and our whole community and platform is based on encouragement and inspiring, because we understand that everybody has a gift or a passion or something that they're talented at, and we just want to motivate you to pursue that, because at the end of the day, what's holding you back? So through these conversations, we can inspire or encourage the next entrepreneur while also helping promote those that we currently know. And not only do we have the show that airs weekly every Tuesday at 12 noon, but we have our No Shortcuts community where you guys can post. You can post links, or if you got something going on. Shout out to Juan, because he has all types of certifications and achievements going on. You guys need a vacation, go over and see Juan. Shout out to Anita Barnett, faithful follower and supporter of our platform. So the whole thing is culminated where we can help each other to succeed, guys.
Yeah,
In a nutshell.
Absolutely.
Famous, you can add on if you like.
Nah,
to.
that was it, man. That was it. I appreciate that, and also congratulations to Juan, because he was also just announced as on the board of directors for the Havens Men's Shelter in Rock Hill. So congrats to Juan for that. He's doing that. He's doing all that. So yeah, man, that's what this show is. Just an opportunity to talk to people, hear some stories, get some advice. Just sharing ideas no matter what you're into or what you're trying to get into. Juan will put his phone number in the comments very quickly. There it is.
Yes, super quickly. I'm actually surprised it wasn't already there.
Yeah. Yeah. His phone number. Call this man. That's not the cell phone.
That's not the cell phone.
Yeah.
That's the
Call
business
this man's
line.
office line.
Do not
sure.
text that number, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
No matter how bad you want to text it, you have to call it. But this
Yes.
guy will take care of all of your vacation travel. We give him huge props here at No Shortcuts.
Absolutely.
He's proven himself to do a thorough job. Even with helping one of my outfits, the chairman of the board, he's diligently doing some things for us. So if you need everybody, you need to vacate. We preach balance here. Not only do you want to work hard, ladies and gentlemen, but you want to reward yourself from time to time and treat yourself. And if you're not a great vacation planner, you need somebody to plan it out for you. He'll plan it out for you every step of the way, whatever your budget may happen to be.
Yeah. And not even just the vacation planning, but like I said, with the men's shelter and all of
everything.
His volunteer endeavors, and he's just a great mentor, a great person to talk to. If you got anything trouble, anything on your mind, Juan's gonna be a good source of positivity.
Yeah, that part.
That's actually with our guest today.
Yeah,
because I'm the segue.
You're the segue master.
With our guest today, it's the same thing, man. Just talking to this guy, it's just so much. He exudes so much positivity and thoughtfulness, and when you hear his story and hear what he's going to be doing, in the next stage of his life coming up here, it's just amazing. I just love talking to this brother all the time. We've talked about him before on the show. I've mentioned,
yes, we have.
In previous episodes, we've talked about, the prison ministry that we do on Mondays at Kershaw Correctional. And then I think a couple weeks ago, I was talking about Bruce, was able to come home. First, he was out for 48 hours, like, yo, let's go. I got to go to church. So we went to church on Sunday. He got out on Friday. We went to church on Sunday. He's already connected with the church, volunteering and things like that. And we're going to get him to talk about what he has coming up next. But let's have a warm
ladies and gentlemen,
for our guest, Mr.
Chat.
Bruce Beckman.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you drop your applause in the chat. Drop your applause in the chat. Yeah.
What's up, Bruce?
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Man,
thank you for joining us, man. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, it's definitely a pleasure for you to come on and join us today, man, and get us as well as our audience a little bit more familiar with, with your story, what you went through and where you are now with everything and what you're looking forward to doing. And we're here to support and uplift, man. So you came to the right place. Thank you for stopping by today.
Yeah, awesome, man. I'm excited to share some of my story with y'all, and just definitely going to put shout outs to everybody I got on my team to start chiming in on Tuesdays to listen to you guys. I love the intro.
Oh man,
very excited to answer any kind of questions, to talk a little bit about me personally, and shout outs to my boy Famous. Nice to meet you this morning, Midas. But
hey, my
Famous
pleasure, sir.
A true personal star in my life. He's really been there for me from the beginning, and can't thank him enough for showing his strengths.
Yeah, what I will say about Famous before we proceed, ladies and gentlemen, this guy likes to play the background. Do not let him fool you. Do not let him fool you. He's an intricate piece to a lot of things that are going out here with many different people. He's an intricate piece to the show. The way he lends himself unselfishly to help others is man, it's incredible. So don't let him fool you because he's quiet and he don't toot his own bicycle horn that much.
I don't. Yeah, Bruce has actually seen that, and when we were working together on Mondays at the prison, there has been Bruce has always seen me. I'm always in the background. I'm not really up front kind of guy unless I had to be. And there was one moment I remember where we were having church and we did like an altar call, and a lot of the guys came up to the altar to receive prayer and to talk. And I was still, in the background then. I was just kind of, making sure things run smoothly. And Bruce came up to me, and Bruce was a leader at the chapel. And Bruce came up to me and whispered, "You got to get up there. They need you. They need to hear from you. You got to get up there."
Yeah, man.
Right. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Bruce pushed me out of the background.
Yeah, a little nudging. Sometimes all
Yeah.
we need is a little nudging,
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
nudging in the right direction, whatever it is that we're trying to get done. All we need is a little nudge sometimes.
Yeah,
You already kind
absolutely.
of know what you want to do, but when you
Hmm.
get that little confirmation, hey, go ahead, man. All right, let me go ahead,
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's great, man. That's great. Bruce, a little bit about you before we get into the meat and potatoes. Tell everybody as well as us like where you're born and raised and a little bit about your childhood and your upbringing.
Sure. So I was born and raised in New Britain, Connecticut. Um,
Okay.
spent most of my life in Connecticut. Came from a single parent environment with four siblings, and
Mm-hmm.
I recognized at a young age, me and my siblings, we didn't quite see eye to eye, and I
Mm-hmm.
became very introverted and disconnected from my family, little by
Mm-hmm.
little, each one,
Mm-hmm.
all the way down the line. And before you knew it, I was on the streets, running in Hartford, Connecticut, and getting involved in like just total chaos. Um, my life completely from 16 years old on changed
Mm-hmm.
drastically. Many incidents and things quickly appeared in my life, including dependency issues with
Mm-hmm.
alcohol and drugs, and
Mm-hmm.
I ended up getting to just into a lot of mess. And later on in life, I ended up meeting a woman, getting married, and having a beautiful little girl. Her name's Kylie, and
Oh, shout out to her.
but some of my mistakes, led me to be separated. As a parent, I was removed.
Mm-hmm.
Shortly after that, I lost my wife to cancer, and
Okay.
just spiraled out of control. And I detached from everything, from my feelings, from my emotions. Spiritually, I was numb. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have any kind of God presence in my life, and
Mm-hmm.
just subjected that into society. And anybody who got in my way became a victim of my circumstances.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I was pretty cold hearted, and just traveled through life like that. And it wasn't until and it didn't negate me from loving people and having emotional connects, but from showing it and outwardly performing, those were
Mm-hmm.
removed from my
Oh,
conscience, so
Hmm.
that
cool.
way I
Okay.
can survive in the lifestyle I was in. And it
Mm.
wasn't long before I ended up in a big mess out here at Bike Week, and ended up getting into a position where I was looking at 30 years of my life incarcerated. And,
Wow.
that was the time I did a little foxhole prayer.
Yeah.
Like when we all get into trouble and we want God to
Mm-hmm.
start figuring stuff out for us. At that point, we learned to kind of let go. And I think
Yeah.
that was my letting, excuse me, that was my
Mm-hmm.
letting go point. That was
Yeah.
that foxhole prayer became uh, very prevalent in my life, and it was something that I walked through up until present day. And what
Mm-hmm.
happened was, at something definitely happened, and I think what it was is, at that moment I reconnected to me, and I knew
Mm.
that until I had a spiritual moment with Bruce and learned how to love me to a greater position and condition, that I would always suffer the behavior of less, of
Mm.
not good enough, of
Mm.
broken, of problem child.
Mm.
And those labels, all them labels that society tends to put on us, I knew that personally I had to remove them from my own conscience, from my own thinking.
Right.
And I had to
Right.
start loving me to a greater condition. And that's where I started realizing how important God was in my life. And
Mm.
that was the beginning of like my recovery, beginning of my change. And
Mm-hmm.
and I promote it highly,
Yes.
is that until you have a relationship with yourself, you'll always be searching outside for other relationships to make you complete and to fill empty spaces. But
Mm.
until you have that one with yourself, you'll always have a void. And it
That's
wasn't
very
until
true.
I actually participated in like really getting involved in activities in the community that I was given. I was given a 10-year sentence. And for
Mm-hmm.
those 8.5 years that I served, I participated in my community by helping other men heal, by helping
Mm-hmm.
them reconnect to something that was important. It's like I became a peer support specialist about 4.5 years ago. So I participate certified in recovery, but 41 years of experience in living in active addiction is what really gave me
Mm-hmm.
my certification.
Yeah. So
And I
hold
Okay.
on,
started,
Bruce. When
yeah.
I'm gonna go back just a tad. When you got the 10-year sentence, how far in were you when you got to that moment where you decided to turn your life around?
So right from day one, like,
Okay.
so when I got my 30-year, I got a 30-year offer. That was the first offer they gave me. They weren't budging, and that was a life sentence to me. I was in my 40s already,
Yeah.
so I'm looking at getting out almost by 80 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that from that moment I got on my knees and did that foxhole prayer, I've been pursuing a relationship with Christ ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to go back to when you said, okay, so you single parent. I'm assuming like your mom raised you.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and you said you recognized early on that you and your siblings didn't really see eye to eye. Do you mind elaborating a little bit more on that for us?
Sure. So for me, I was always looking from the outside at the view of my family. And
Okay.
as the youngest in the family, my mom always spoiled me in any way she could. She worked a lot, so it wasn't a lot of emotional love,
I
although at
see.
times she would show it. But I became resentful towards my mother because I didn't have a father. When I hung out with my
I
friends,
see.
I would see them with whole families and think like, what
Ah,
did mom do? So I started
okay.
having resentment and hatred towards my mother and
Uh-huh.
including my siblings because they had 6 and 8 years of relationship with my father. My dad divorced when I was 3 months old. So they
Oh,
had a
so you,
connection to him. And it
mm-hmm.
just, and I would try so hard through athleticism, through um, trying to be good at baseball, wrestling. I was a state champ wrestler in high school,
To
trying
gain
to
his,
pursue like his attention
yeah.
through means of my athleticism, and it just
Uh-huh.
wouldn't work. He never, even at my when my brother passed away from a crack cocaine heart attack, which is I used to serve him crack back in the
Wow.
day, but when he
Mm-hmm.
died from that, and I seen him coming out in that body bag, I was just enthralled with feelings. But I went
Yeah.
to the funeral and I didn't even sit with the family. I sat out in
Wow.
the audience, and when we all met with the mortuary people, the people in the
Mm-hmm.
funeral. So when
Yeah.
we all sat down at the table, I was like the cast out, and my dad was talking like to me, but like with a fake, genuine tone, and that was the only time
Uh-huh.
we talk again
Now,
in my life.
How old were you at that point, Bruce?
So I was when my brother died, I was like 41, 42 years
Okay,
old.
okay. So that whole time trying to garner attention or recognition from your father.
Sure. You
Yeah.
got to understand now, for 24 years, the last 24 years, I've had no contact with any family, not a single family member, no
Mm,
relative, none. I just recently, after decades, got a hold of my cousin, and we've been in communication. And that's the only family member I have in my life for the
mm,
last over 2 decades. So
yeah.
I've been. It helped me though. I used it to my advantage. Like I said, when I got clean and I finally pursued change and recovery, not just abstinence. When I started
Hmm.
pursuing the change of self, that I realized that I had to do this with me, for me, and by myself. Not even for my daughter. I didn't get clean for my daughter Kylie, although she'll
Hmm.
benefit from it if she ever gives
Absolutely.
me a chance
You
to
did
meet
it
her
for
father.
yourself. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And the reason I ask you to elaborate is just because you never know with us recording and and the way the internet is and the way videos travel. I ask for a little bit more specification because it can help someone identify certain things if they
Absolutely.
may be going through the same thing. So we appreciate
Yeah.
you going a little bit more in depth with that. Wow, that's
Yeah.
very deep stuff, man.
Yeah.
Very deep stuff.
So I know you mentioned that you were a state wrestling champ in high school. What other things were you interested in? Coming up as a young Bruce man.
Around young
You
Bruce,
don't
man.
want to know.
I mean, or
Crime,
what did you ever
crime,
think?
chaos. I
Was there
ran
anything,
with
any careers
a
that you
big
thought?
organization at one time.
Okay.
At one time in my life, I ran with a rough crowd,
Okay.
and I'm grateful to what experiences I had in that situation, that I lived through it, and that I'm no longer involved with it,
Yeah.
and that
Hmm.
I'm better for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was curious. So do you like you running with the rough crowd? Did you feel like maybe some sort of acceptance that you didn't feel before? I would assume quite naturally from you describing your family dynamic.
So here we go. So I always wanted to be the leader amongst anybody I was with. I always had this mentality of it had to be done my way or no
Or the
way.
highway.
And yeah, so I never really connected. Like I never trusted anybody. I barely trusted myself to make decisions based on what's next. I pretty much lived by impulse. And if you were a part of the impulsation of what was going on with me gaining something, either from you or with you, then we were cool. But if not, then you were my enemy. Even if you were my brother, you were my enemy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a mindset, you know. But I a part of me can understand it. I don't know if understand would be the right word, but that's the word I'm gonna use. considering, you know, your father wasn't there, and you're trying to garner attention and recognition from him, and then also the rest of the family dynamic. That kind of allows us to kind of understand how you kind of get wrapped up in the wrong crowd because you're looking for something that should be provided for you within the four walls of your home.
Sure. Most children connect to things, friends, playing games, doing things. I was slowly disconnecting and going inside of myself through introspection and breaking and bridging any, not bridging, but breaking any bridge that existed between any of my, even like my lifetime friends. We don't have a great connection because I disconnected at some point when things didn't work out the way I wanted them to work out. Then I removed myself, and I was better off alone. Especially like for me, I didn't mind that much that my family disconnected because they were terrified of me through my actions, and I didn't blame them for that. I didn't understand it at the time. I understand it completely now, but I didn't blame them. My only regret is that I had every capacity to be a better person, and I chose not to be, even though all the opportunities, I had so many things laid at my feet and at my disposal many, many times. And God never, ever stopped loving me through anything. And today I use all of that as an experience to share with another human being that's suffering. When I help another guy or another woman out, I see me, the broken me in them. And it gives me more compassion to meet them at their level rather than try to get them to understand where I'm at with my level, because I study this disease inside and out, so I know how to combat it.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the story of Saul transitioning to Paul? Okay. That thought just popped in my mind because it's never. I think Famous even titled the episode in our community. He titled it "Never Too Late." Is that right?
Yeah.
It's never too late, man. Yeah.
So I love my little thing is I always talk about it, and I'm very delicate because you can't just always approach everybody with the word of God and talk about God because you can offend some people, and then I can't be able to reach them and help them. So I have a really cool way of doing it where I'm still, and God knows what I'm doing. He knows how magnificent He is. I don't got to tell anybody about it. He already knows. All I got to do is be available, and He'll make things happen between us in a connection. And that's when that relationship begins, that trust begins, and that dialogue starts being created. That's when I know that I have reached home, and now it's up to me to keep going. Like He'll give me the introduction and the moment, and I'll know. And at that moment, that's when I go outside of myself to do more, to never say enough is enough, to say that there's something more that I can do. And I make myself present in people's lives. I never remove myself. And that's something I did in the past. I always removed myself. So today, I never remove myself.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So now you're kind of the opposite as far as not removing yourself, but that's how you dealt with conflict back then. If it wasn't your way, it was the highway. So I'm not even going to talk to you no more.
So I realized through time, experience, and through being present in my life that the same behaviors I use to self-destruct are the exact same behaviors that I use to construct a great outlook in my life, to create a mindset of pureness, of sanctity, and of resilience. Like I don't negotiate with myself. I don't wake up in the morning and negotiate. I address life head on. And I got an accountability mirror. It's not a big one. It's a small little mirror that I can only see my face in. And I talk some hard trash to myself on a day when I'm trying to negotiate because I pursue life with quality, and quality is a pursuit of excellence. I don't want a mediocre recovery. I didn't go through the struggles of getting clean and getting better to have ordinary stuff happen. I want extraordinary stuff to happen in my life.
Yeah. And even with that,
and get it.
Yeah, and even with that being
Vital
said,
behaviors, like I told you, the cues are always there. I'm always seeing them, and it's up to me to establish a response. And my response is what's more important than anything I say.
mm, awesome, man. That's incredible, and I feel like now you're in a position after going through all you went through and having a 180, so to speak. I was gonna say 360, but that'd be all the way, yeah, 180. Yeah, uh, yeah. So now you're in position to help others who may be dealing with similar issues that you dealt with early on or before, and I really see you being a tool, an avenue to help someone else, maybe not even make those same mistakes, maybe help someone bypass
Yeah.
the jail portion and things of that nature. So now that's incredible, man. It's very, very inspirational.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Like I said, I'm looking to create my own platform when I learn a little bit more about technology,
Yeah,
for one.
yeah.
But for two is I got to take all my notes and everything and put them into where they can be established in a good curriculum. The
Uh,
thing I learned the most as a peer support, as a person of long-term
yes,
recovery, is that the families keep being missing in the link
in
to
the story.
recovery for the individual suffering. We address the individual in and out of treatment, spend tens of thousands of dollars on insurance to keep going through the same act, and we never include the family. I talk to family members all the time with when I was doing Justice Involved, and they
Uh-huh.
don't have a clue as to what recovery is or how to deal with their children or their loved
Hmm.
ones. And
Hmm.
until we reach that, until the peer supports and people of recovery and the communities of recovery actually reach out to the families and start teaching the families how to interact with the situation, then
Yeah.
the link and the columns will be in support for the person to make better efforts as they transition into the recovery. The
Mm.
family will already be transitioned waiting for them in recovery.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll
And
already
what?
be recovering. You don't got to wait to recover, wait for the individual to go to treatment to get recovery. They can already start recovering and start making healthy decisions based on tough love and other things and other avenues, but learning for themselves what they're going through because they become attached to the individual that's sick and they don't know how to respond healthily. They respond
Mm.
unhealthily because they're just as sick as the individual using.
Wow.
And so that would be considered the whole enablement factor? Is that what you're talking about?
There's so much. Again, I always base everything in recovery on relationships.
Yeah.
So relationships are key components, and until the families realize what type of relationship they're having with their loved ones that are substance dependent, they'll never make any decisions to better improve their situation so they can be more viable to the actual person trying to get better when they decide that that's what they want. Until
Yeah.
then, you can't change somebody just because you want it to be for them with no
Hmm.
information and no knowledge on how to actually pursue recovery for yourself. Any
Right.
family that's involved with a dependent is in active addiction alongside them. Every single family.
Yeah.
There's
That's a
no
very
exception. You're dealing with all the consequences and realities of loving this person and not being and watching them die one use at a
mhm.
time.
Yeah, yeah, no, and so yeah, so are you trying to implement something in your approach to helping others in recovery? That's what you're saying, to implement having the family structure be more involved.
Sure. So I have a whole. I mean, I've been writing for years and years and
Hmm.
years on this
Sure.
program called Fractured, and I still spend an hour every day investing, writing, rewriting, and coming
Hmm.
up through my own experience through being in numerous treatment centers, numerous detoxes, and knowing what was acceptably good and what was very very wrong with the system called
Mm.
treatment, right?
Wow.
So for myself, is I have a whole outline, a platform, but it's a 90-day process of getting involved through. You can get involved one on one, you can get involved through groups, but you can all do it all through here, through the internet, right? And we don't even
Hmm.
gotta meet face to face, and we can have intimate conversation, create dialogue, and help you to teach yourself how to survive amongst the wounded. You
Yeah.
know
Do
what I
you?
mean?
Yeah. Is that you know that link right off the bat, and we could put it in the chat?
I haven't. I need some help putting it
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
Yeah.
together
Yeah. We're
into
Oh,
getting there.
a viable product like what you
I
guys
see.
have, a
Yeah.
show and everything.
I
And
got you.
I'm
But
not
it's
impatient
coming.
in that sense because I do have some healthy fears as to making sure that this is something absolutely beneficial before I actually platform it, even though I know it has 99.9% potential. Is
Yes.
my outreach as a peer support is more geared towards the family, getting the families involved, and then asking them along the way after we have some interactions is how do you want to go about intervention and what does that look like and why that, why not something else, and what's best suited based on what you're saying. But I want to be
Yeah.
direct and complete with the family and getting as much as the family involved. Because then,
Right.
when the individual does get better and recovery is new to them, they have a huge support work that already knows about recovery, about meetings, about being healthy, being connected, about being able to. A lot of people who get clean fake it when they get back to their loved ones because they don't want them to know. And then their loved ones get mad at them. Oh, you've been in prison for 10 years. Now you want to go to them AA meetings. Who's she at? Who is she? Who's she? Who is that you going to see every night? Because they
And
don't
not the-
understand. They don't understand the importance of some things like
yeah, that's
self-care,
true. Very true, though. It's funny, but it's true.
mutual respect towards allowing somebody to grow and recover. You can't love somebody and then not understand how to love them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
God
my
told us
father.
that.
Bruce,
Shout out to my dad real quick. Love you,
yeah,
Dad. Thank you for
also-
joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah. My whole family's here today. Speaking of family support, my
Yeah.
mother's here, my brother's here, my sister's here, and
And
my
we got a
father's
nice
here.
comment from
Where is it?
William
I'm trying to get
Heslin.
this thing on there.
I see it. So, Bruce.
Covered. That's
Bruce.
called pain.
Yeah, buddy.
Yes.
Tell us about some of your accreditations and certifications, in these fields that you've been working on and achieving, in preparation for this.
Sure. So I'm a certified peer support specialist. I've been dealing with Nikki Lauder from Deotis. She's one of the best. I wouldn't be where I'm at without her. The whole
Awesome.
team, Mike Crawford, Sarah Hart, Regina Davis. These people have been so impactful and meaningful in my life. And
Awesome.
it helped me to pursue other things. Like I've never been to school other than a GED I got in prison. And I'm pursuing going to school.
Yeah.
But prior to that, I spent studying for 4 years psychology because we had it on the tablet and it was free. So I'm
Yeah.
deep into like Sigmund Freud, Carl Jung, and just
Yeah.
studying behavioral mechanics. I read Carolyn Faith, who writes neuroplasticity. So I study
Okay.
neuroplasticity, which is healthy mindset. Healthy thinking creates like endoendorphins and axiones to impulse like healthiness in your body, like just by healthy thinking. And God says the renewing of one mind is so powerful that we
Yeah.
can establish a greater relationship with ourselves and Him through it. So I'm always trying to re-educate myself, continue to educate myself, and to ask myself questions like important questions like, do you just listen to what you read, or are you putting it into a life experience and understanding it quickly
Application.
for myself? And I think that's what separates me from a lot of peer supports and others is that I have my own idea, version, and conversation about the truth about recovery, not some systematic view. I have an intellectual, spiritual presence in my recovery, and it's important. Like when I'm with another person, their life is viable to me. It's the most important thing to me at that moment. Everything else I got going on doesn't matter. I stop my thinking and focus on them and the importance of listening. Like I listen to learn and learn to listen. And that was something I had to like study. I studied intently, like anything that came up present, or if I questioned something you said, I went and attacked it. Words, I wanted to know definitions of words. I wanted to know their meaning. I want to know, well, where does this word originate from and why? Why did it come up with that? Why wasn't it something else? You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a deep
We tend to
dive.
just parrot what other people say, and we're followers, not leaders. And I'm not a follower. I'm a leader. I'm leading, and I'm searching for followers. But I'll lead from the front or behind. It doesn't matter. Like Travis, he's got such a presence in the church, whether he's in the front of the stage or in the back of the stage. When he comes in, everybody's day is complete because he brings a smile to face.
That's awesome,
Oh,
man.
man.
That's
Cut it
awesome. Yeah,
out.
we gotta give
it
the
out.
flowers. Yeah, while we can.
Cut it out.
Now, and the ladies, Nikki and Sarah. I think you mentioned them. They're in the comments,
Yeah,
right?
they're watching now.
They're in the
Okay,
comments.
okay,
Yeah, they're
okay.
watching now.
That's
I've
awesome.
invited all my followers, and I'm wondering why they ain't here yet.
Well, we
It's-
live. You know, some
I
people
didn't know how to
are
put
at.
the link on.
Oh, did you tag him in it? Famous?
Yeah, I did, and I sent them.
That
I
don't
sent
mean
them the
nothing to me.
YouTube
Yeah.
and the Facebook link. But we'll
Yeah.
also it's live now and it's
It's live.
lunchtime during the
It'll
week.
be replayable. It'll be
Yeah.
replayable.
But
Yeah,
they'll be
we
able
understand.
to replay it.
We understand that those that may be at work or maybe at lunch and things like that may not catch the live, but it'll stay posted even after we finish recording it here at Facebook. It's on YouTube. It'll
Yeah, they
still
can
be
still
on
catch it.
YouTube. Oh yeah,
They can
and
still
you can
catch the replay.
I
And you
wanted
can
to
pass
talk
this
a
link.
little bit about something I've been studying just recently
Yeah.
in this relationship prodigy and this thing, man, this dynamic of this relationship. And that's why I say, like, it has to start and end with you. And before you make decisions, you got to know what the outcome looks like prior to making it, and you'll make healthier decisions. When you get more connected to you, you'll stop putting all your trust in others who may not have your best benefit at heart at times.
Mhm.
Who knows what their intent and motive is? And it's not that
That's true.
everybody doesn't have some genuine purpose, but
Mhm.
in the end, until you have your own, you'll never connect correctly to understanding and knowing how to decipher between good, bad, and indifferent. And the only thing I can truly trust is God. But what I've been studying lately is this thing about, family. Everybody's born into a family, right?
Yep.
But being a family member is your responsibility in the connection and response and how you incorporate it in your life. Because there's some terrible family members. I was one of them to my own family, right? So today I'm a good family member. Even though I don't get a chance to be a part of that family, I have another family. I have a new family that I give the same amount of respect, love, and intent to the way I would to my other family. And that's my way of saying I'm sorry to them people who I don't get a chance to say I'm sorry
Right.
to.
Right.
But it's
That's
like
a great perspective.
you are a male, right? But being a man requires a different type of a relationship. In order to be a man, not just a male just gives you an identity. A man gives you a purpose. And when you have a purpose, you'll pursue it. The way you treat women, the way you talk about women, the way you interact with life and society. Whether you're in a checkout line at Walmart and you're in a rush and you think everybody else should bow down to your importance, no, sit back, take a moment, and ask God for some patience, right?
Yeah, gotta have
Those
some
are all
patience.
relationship qualities that got to be pursued intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually by you. And that's that Trinity. They got to connect. When they connect, then you'll know you're in the presence of something greater than you. It's really nothing to do with you.
Yeah, and you're also saying some things that could apply to our normal theme of entrepreneurship. You're saying a lot of things that that resonate in, being a business owner. So I mean, it's amazing how, as they say, life imitates art imitates life. Just for a case scenario, you're using your life situation. We can glean from that and apply it to our business structures at the same time. Yeah.
So
this is
most of
incredible.
my greatest studies have come from Jordan Peterson, Marcus Aurelius, Richard Holiday, Carolyn Faith. But those right there, I do a lot of their studies because they just reach home. They say some really important things.
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson, especially, I love the way he articulates his content and how he thinks abstract. Like David Goggins, I've studied David Goggins for the past 3 years. I actually work out to a lot of his workouts. A lot of my accountability mirror stuff is based on him. I just put it into my own design. But I admire his pursuit of challenging himself and not allowing his potential to be with limits, because we only limit ourselves by our own lack of potential. We'll say, "Oh, I can't, I won't, I don't." I don't say that to myself. My words are empowering, uplifting, and inspiring. Otherwise, I got no business saying anything.
Yeah. So go a little bit deeper on the self-talk, like having to motivate yourself, Bruce. Like for those at home and for ourselves too. I generally understand what you're saying, but just elaborate for someone who may not.
Okay.
Yeah, who not understand.
So this morning I'm on I do a bunch of different. I have all kinds of eucalyptic bikes and pedal bikes out in the back, weights and everything. Instead of going to the gym, I wake up and I'm pressed to get to my workout. And that's some of the most important thing that I do in my day is to remain physically healthy so I can have something emotionally and mentally to say.
To
But
pull from, yeah.
I'll be on the bike and I'll be tired. The sun's on me because it's right out in the sun, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do 15 minutes today. And I'll quickly say to myself, and that's that negotiation factor. I say, you're a punk. 8 minutes. I know chicks that can, I know 10-year-old chicks that can write better than you. And I'll start saying this stuff to me like real. But I'll get back to focus, and when I'm focused, I'll say, you are a marathon runner. You don't stop at 8 minutes. You got 26 miles to do. Yeah, and it'll work. And I'll tell you, man, it's uplifting when you can encourage yourself. We have some really common conversations with ourselves. We want everything to be comfortable and neat and everything to be in place. And that is a fantasy. That's not life. Life is like if the mountain was smooth, we'd never climb it. The mountain's got to have some rigidity to it. I want the roughest mountain you can give me. And I want to figure out all by myself a plan. I don't want to take your route. I want to make my own route because then I know it's more satisfying when I get to the peak. Right?
Yeah.
So I have these great conversations with myself about how important it is that I show up to my life, that I make an impact and importance in my life to myself and to another.
Yeah.
And that's how I get back to my community out here. I got here, I've done the yard work, I've done painting, I've done, and dudes are like, man, thank you, Bruce. I'm like, you don't got to thank me. I'm doing something that I'm capable of. You want to join me? Come on.
Come on.
Let's go. I want to inspire. Influence. I'm an influencer. I want to be I don't want to be an ordinary commentary influencer. I want to be the greatest that this internet has ever seen.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And with that being said, DJ Famous, cue up Rough Side of the Mountain by Reverend F.C. Barnes.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. I see Juan has already got the juices flowing. He's got some ideas for us as well.
Okay.
Anybody else? You have any questions for Bruce?
Yeah.
Any comments? Please
ladies
chime
and gentlemen.
in. This is
while
interactive.
He's here.
This is interactive.
Yeah. He's giving us a nice little sermon there.
Absolutely.
You know
and Bruce,
I
know you're not a toot your own horn kind of guy either, but I did want to get you to touch on a little bit about the guys that you were able to connect with, inside and some lives you were able to touch there and how.
Yeah. Sure. Love to. This is the best part.
Yeah.
So for anybody that has never been incarcerated, pay attention closely. Anybody that has been incarcerated, you know what I'm about to say. So this is how it worked for me. I dealt with over 100 men one-on-one, and I ran groups, me and my brother, Sank Howell. We ran some groups inside, powerful groups. And we spent time. We were roommates. So we spent time building like you and Travis, you guys, I could see you guys gel. And we gelled together. I would have conversations with them like this. This is how one of my conversations would look. Is I talk about how we make things so common that it's easy to repeat them through behavior. And before I even get into it, I'll give you an example through the Word of God. Is that, when Jesus was going to teach his disciples how to heal and do everything, he brought them back to Nazareth. And the Nazareth was a small village of about 500, but they were loyal to the law of the Jewish code, which meant that the way they addressed and the way they dealt with others was important to follow that code. Otherwise, it was a disrespect to the Jewish law. So when they came back, they said, oh, look, it's Mary's son, the carpenter. What's wrong with that? Well, here's two things. One, he's a male, and in the Jewish tradition, you're supposed to introduce a male by Joseph's son, not Mary, but that was common to them to say that. And a carpenter, because he was just an ordinary person. See, they had the Messiah right around him, but it was very common to them because he'd been around so long around them that they just got comfortable with it being that he's just a carpenter and Mary's son. Same thing with prison. People return to prison at a high rate because they get there and they live worse in there than they do on the street, where they actually have some conscious awareness to not get caught. But when they're in there, it becomes so common to live in the toilet with another dude, where you go to the bathroom and you eat your setup food on your bunk, where the toilet is sitting right in your face.
Right there.
It becomes so common that it's easy to repeat it because all your bills are paid, your rent's paid, people come and visit you, send you money on the phone because you can lie, and a lie don't care who tells it, right? But when you start establishing a relationship with yourself, you ask yourself, why is it so important that I live at such a low place, at such a low existence? And that's it. When you come to prison, you're just existing, unless you decide to get outside of the box, which only 3% of men do, including women, is 3% of them actually take a chance to get outside of themselves and figure out some things to never repeat this behavior by implementing good behavior while they're there. See, I may never get a chance to be Kylie's father ever. She's made a decision to not allow me in her life. That doesn't stop me from pursuing excellence in my life and being a father. I practiced it the whole way through, 8.5 years incarcerated.
Wow.
I often talk to men about like their families. Again, you abuse your family, you make them victims of your circumstances, and then you lie to them on the phone to go and get some cigarettes and some drugs or some garbage gas station variety food from canteen that you call a setup, right? Then you spend all your time and effort in that, rather than if you really love your family, then don't call them no more unless you're paying for the phone call. Don't have them come through this embarrassment of being strip search to get in here and go through a detector in order to come see you, and let them know that you need to develop and grow and disconnect from them for this moment, so that way you become a son, a father, and a husband that you intended to be, not just keep talking about and never produce. So I've had some real life conversation with them, and I tell them it starts and ends with you, and until you start a relationship with you, you'll keep searching for one, and then you'll have many variety of names, situations, and you'll blame them all for your failures.
Yeah, buddy. I
good
saw
stuff.
some of that live in action, man. One time we were just, I think it was right after church ended, and we were just, Bruce and I were connected for a few minutes and talking, and another guy came up and was talking to us, and I didn't know what happened, but next thing I knew, this guy was doing push-ups. Bruce had a guy doing push-ups, and I didn't know why. What was that?
Accountability.
Yeah.
You
Accountability.
can't interrupt
Okay.
a conversation with somebody just because you want to have a conversation with somebody. So my factor is this: whenever you interrupt me from a conversation, you owe me something. So 10 push-ups seems sufficient.
I
and
gotta
hopefully
start doing that.
through physical payment that you shouldn't intellectually. See, he could have used his intellect and not get involved in the conversation. But it can't be that important. I live around you 24 hours a day. It can't be
Right.
that important. I go on the yard all the time and see everybody. I never miss a beat when it comes to loving on my brothers in the penitentiary. That's where
Right.
everything happened for me. I'll never forget that. But you will not just do what you want because you think it's cool to do so, especially interruptions. I don't
I
like
need to-
interruptions because I'm
Yeah.
focused with Travis, and we were talking, and he does it a lot. So you got accountability. You got to take accountability, and they love it. So I make it fun, even though it's a real live lesson. I want to make it fun so that way the attraction part still works in the relationship. I never disrespect anybody when I'm building with them. I always remember everybody has a different individuality. I never treat everybody the same, although I am the same. I never treat any individual the same because I treat them as an individual. I get to know some personal stuff through creative dialogue and motivational interviewing. And then when I know them enough, then I can get to a different level with them. And that kid, he's at a different level with me. He give me some push-ups.
Yeah. Sound like Bruce is the man. Don't interrupt his conversation. You're gonna have to do some push-up. I'm gonna have to.
I still got a little bit of that prison mentality.
Yeah, hey, I wanna take that and use that for myself, because sometimes you're out in an environment and people walk up on you. They see you already talking to somebody. They're gonna still barge in. Oh, excuse, like no, hold on, a second, you know. Yeah,
it's like that Walmart thing I was saying. It's so important for me to slow down and focus in what I'm doing and be connected to it, so that way I may learn something from it. Like at any given time when I'm teaching, I'm also the student, and I have to know when that time is. When I'm listening to somebody share something, man, and I tell them, if usually I got about 40 guys in the room up at the chapel, and I tell them I'm getting 40 times the help that I'm giving, because there's 40 of you giving me deep insight and correction. I said, and if you're just sitting here to get out of yourself, that's cool. Showing up is the most important thing.
Yeah, the best ability is availability.
That's right. That's right.
Wow. You can't break me.
Nah, I can't do it, man. And obviously you went through all of these things for a reason, Bruce, a greater purpose. It was a rough road, obviously. But I feel like you got to the destination as far as being in a position where God can use you to help others. And you're saying some profound things, man. I don't even know if you know, but you're saying some very profound things.
Absolutely.
I believe God has given me great strength and abilities, but I have to produce them through action and response. A lot of people, we tend to use God as a genie. and we only want him to give us things rather than for us to give something. I keep seeing this quote on the Facebook app, and it says, what did God do for you today? And I wrote back, what did you do for God? Like, do you wake up every day and give homage to God and to serve him to the best of your ability by loving a person who you can't seem to love? Like, it's easy to love somebody you know, but go and love a stranger and compliment a stranger, or stop at a homeless guy, and instead of just giving him $5 because you feel like you can afford it, and most people don't, but if you do, don't give him the $5 and the conversation. Have a conversation. Let him know that he is a person, and he might find something within himself through that conversation to change in his tomorrow. But yet we take little time to actually connect to the people that are really needed, yet we'll complain about all the crime in the community. We'll claim about all the irresponsibility going on in the school systems, but we do very little bit to actually do the work to be a part of the solution. We're just always complaining about the problem.
And complaining doesn't change a thing.
It doesn't.
It's like recovery. Recovery don't need treatment. It needs more people like Nikki and Regina and all them to be more active, to have more funds, to activate more trust, to connect it to the communities. That's my intent, is to really hit home in Congress, to make a platform that's going to impact all the way through HMOs, all them. I want to tell them how much money they're misspending, and inform families to stop misspending it by using their insurance, and to start connecting at a presence of my platform to where you can learn some more about going about change and recovery without so much financial commitment to where you have to make sacrifices. And it's difficult, even though you love somebody, making these sacrifices is difficult, because at some point you get broken.
Yeah, that's true, man. We do have a question from Juan. How was the original transition back into the fold of society? And what were some of the obstacles that God placed in front of you that you overcame through adversity since you've been home?
Sure. So I was ready for this. You know what I mean? I've been preparing for a while. I wasn't waiting for my time to go by neither. Everybody kept saying, "Oh, Bruce, you going home in 90 days, 70 days." They were counting for me. I said, please stop counting for me, because I want to enjoy every moment of this. I don't want this to go by. There's something still here for me. My time is not up. Please don't tell me that you got to say to open the door, let me out. Because if that's the case, let's go. But I'm ready. But I walked out of prison the first day. A gentleman I did 8 years with, my boy Tommy Hedden, he was there to pick me up with his wife. You know what I mean? We made a connection in there. God-fearing man. He's got a different way of practicing his recovery through the Lord, and I respect that, multiple pathways. But he was there for me, man. Big hug, connection. I didn't know his wife other than through conversations. We talked on the phone all the time, but she always wanted to be involved in our conversations. Her name's Julie. She's anyway, so that was awesome, right? And he knew a lot of stuff about the transition, so I put my trust in him and let him kind of just guide the day. I didn't really know what was expected. Right. Was I nervous? Of course. You know what I mean? I haven't been in society in 8.5 years. So it was definitely an eye-opening moment. I think God opened up every door available to me, and it was just me getting over the fear and using it to my advantage in pursuing a healthy choice, one after the other. And I've been just going strong, man, going strong. Nikki, she gets the blunt end of some of the challenges I have with technology. That was one of the things. But I didn't allow technology to defeat me. I just kept asking for help. And I wasn't afraid to say, help me, help me, help me, help me. Reach out, reach out. How do I do this? How do I do that? Sarah, Regina, they all have been there, like, completely for me. Elevation Church, Pastor Taylor, Travis. Unbelievable. Travis came the first weekend out, took me to church. I am now, hopefully, background check, hopefully I'm a garage attendant for Elevation Church. And I told Pastor Taylor, I said, man, when my first time coming by myself on the bus, I had to take a bus. So I walk up into the garage, and I could barely know if this is the place, because there's only one little sign and one guy with an orange Elevation shirt on. And I said, man, we need to have an orange booth out there, not where the church is up here on the platform.
Near the road.
Church. Put one of them booths out there, and I'll start waving traffic down. You'll have more parishioners. He said, garage attendant.
That's
said,
right.
okay.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
I like to be right in the worst case scenarios, right in the meat and potatoes of the situation. So as
Think
far
of it
as
all,
like
huh?
obstacles, I want obstacles. I want presence in obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
I want everything in my life to have some degree of difficulty. So that way I learn the experience. There's me. Yeah,
There's
Okay.
Bruce.
exactly.
Oh, hold on.
That
All
was
right, there we go.
that
Yeah,
was
all the booths are up here. The church is right there.
Yeah,
Put one of them booths out there at the end of the parking lot, and I guarantee
Yeah.
you I'll get 20 parishioners to come in.
That was
Wow.
I'll
Bruce
flag them down. I know
volunteering.
how I used to have a homeless sign back in the day. I know how to do that
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
God, you're
that
getting
was
gray here.
that was
Look,
two.
who's that guy next to me? He's making me look bad.
No, sir. No, sir. But I think I told that story, when it happened live. But since you're here, well, I'll just talk about it a minute. But Bruce had, told me ahead of time. He's getting out on Friday. He wants to go to church on, a few weeks ahead of time. I'm like, yeah. I gave him my number. Give me a call once you get settled in. We're going to church.
Nah,
I've done that a few other times, and it doesn't really come to fruition. But Bruce, that last week, that last Monday, Bruce said again, "We're going to church on Sunday." I was like, "This coming Sunday? Yeah, let's do it." I didn't think if he was still going to do it, because that first weekend is usually hard. A lot of stuff to do. But then Bruce, he got out on Friday, and Saturday my phone rang, or he sent me a text message first, so I knew it was him. But Saturday he said, "This is Bruce. I'm ready." So we went to church. We went to church Sunday. That picture you just saw, that was him getting signed up and connected to volunteer with the church and everything. So that's been awesome to see.
That's awesome, man.
I'm glad you were able to get connected there.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we got another comment from Juan, and we're going to connect you to after the show as well. Juan like to write a book with you. You're an amazing individual.
Is he serious or he's joking?
He says all kidding aside.
He's all kidding aside. Okay. All right.
The book. And I think we talked about it a little bit just before the show about the men's retreat. It's actually October 19th through the 22nd, the Carolina Outpost.
That they're right Bruce, on time.
Yeah, Bruce,
right
you
on
would
time
love
with
it.
Love to be a part of it.
You would love it. So I'm gonna get the two of you connected, so you can talk about that. But it's great, man. I've been twice myself, Bruce, and it's life changing. It is life changing, man. But yeah, this has been good stuff, brother.
Yeah, and so I guess the biggest adjustment would have been technology for you, Bruce, the most part.
That's it. As far as like anything else, I've already I had we called it a RAP, a wellness recovery action plan. I've already had one in place and rewritten it. I got a plan B for the day after, a plan C in case plan B don't come through.
Okay.
I have a connection to my own inner self, and my relationship with God is amazing. And he always keeps me informed and aware of when I'm lacking and when I need to step up. So I'm always present in my life, man. And I'm grateful to have energy and existence in God, like grateful. And I don't take any credit for it, but I got to do all the work in order to receive it.
Yeah. And don't feel bad on the technology standpoint, because a lot of us struggle too. I struggled some as well. You can do that?
Hey,
I didn't know you could do that.
So I don't play games now. I got an outreach worker. I'm meeting her at 2:00 today. She's bringing her laptop to the Goodwill Training Center, and we're spending a few hours getting it in.
Yeah. Oh, so it
my
sounds
girl
like
Indigo. She's gonna teach me the computer.
Yeah. So it sounds like any potential quote unquote weakness you may have, you, like you said, obstacles, you address them head on. You're not gonna let it defeat you, so to speak. If you find if you think you need some improvement on technology, I'm gonna ask. You said you like to ask, help me. I'm gonna ask you somebody to show me how to get this done, so I can be a little more fluent. And I think that's important to as well, man. Even if, as we think as business owners and things of that nature, that never be afraid to ask for some help. Don't be so ego driven that you think you have all the answers, so that even speaks to me. We sometimes we have to kind of, put the ego in check, so to speak, and say, hey, let me ask for a little bit of help. I can't do all this by myself, or I can't do XYZ by myself. I could do other things by myself, but for this, I might need to ask for some help.
I want to share one thing before we go.
Sure.
This it's going to be difficult for me to share this, but I'm going to share it because I think it's important. And this is just for men. When I got out of prison, I swore that I would take a vow of celibacy for 1 year. so that way I can focus on having a better relationship with me on the streets, and conditioning my life, and building it up to be something without any distractions. I didn't want any distractions because I'm often can be distracted by beautiful women. So I practiced not being distracted even in the prison system because there was a few available, but not in that sense. I'm just saying pretty
Right.
women. But so
Absolutely.
this celibacy has taught me like so much, and it's keeping me with more room for Bruce and more room for focus in like areas where I am lacking. And God says in my weaknesses are His greatest strengths, and I can't find them unless I search them out. So I'm always searching me to find God, because God told Nicodemus, He said, "I'm not out there, man. I'm within you. The kingdom of heaven that I've been seeking all my life, the refuge, the healing, the importance of relationship and self has always been with me." And that's why, like, I survived the battle and the war that I put myself in. And today I realize, like, this celibacy act is really way bigger than just not being with a woman. It's incredibly larger than that. And I wouldn't have known that if I didn't get out and stick true to it. And none of the guys in prison that I known, and I know a lot, thought I would ever do it. And
Wow.
and I've been tempted a few times, and I have removed myself from the temptation immediately, and like so proud. I'm like, patting myself on the back.
Absolutely.
Because I believe someday when I'm actually correct in my life, and my life is starting to produce an effect, a greater effect in others' lives, is that God eventually will allow the right woman to be placed in front of me, and then I'll get to make the decision of whether or not I want. Because I just don't want any ordinary person who's not achieving and believing.
Yeah.
I
Talk
want
to
somebody
him, Bruce.
believing.
Yeah, talk to him, Bruce.
That's it, man. That's how you do it. That's how you do a show right there, Bruce. You already have it. I'm excited for your show.
Yeah. So
thank you. I can't thank you, Midas, and
listen, man.
Travis enough, man.
Yeah,
I still can't say that name, but I'll get it.
DJ Favors.
Yeah.
I gotta hear him one time, because we used to cut records up. My boy David Santana used to cut records up, so I gotta make sure he got it. I'm from the big city.
Yeah, don't let Famous fool you. He's a phenomenal DJ. I don't know if he told you that part in prison ministry or Elevation.
It came up.
Yeah, we're gonna get him set his turntables up at Elevation.
Don't worry, I'll let Chad know that he got to do a little bit more on the instruments up there.
I've DJed at Elevation Church a couple times too.
Okay.
Juan says, "I told y'all this ranks as one of the best shows for sure." Thank you so much, brother.
It was
Thank
real
you.
Talk, man.
Yeah,
real
thank
talk.
you everybody who participated in this episode. Thanks for watching. Listen, share this with somebody. Share this feed.
Share it.
Either the YouTube feed or the Facebook feed, because this episode will live on. So if they missed the live 12 o'clock, they can still watch it later. I know you know someone that can benefit from this conversation. So make sure you share it on your pages. Oh, thank you, Matthew. I appreciate that. Already shared, my man. Already.
Okay, my brother.
Thank
No
you.
doubt. Hey, do you have a title for your platform just yet, Bruce, or everything's still?
It's called Fractured.
Fractured. Okay, so
Fractured.
you guys stay on the lookout for Fractured, and then once it's ready, I guess Famous is gonna do whatever he can do. If you guys need me, let me know, and we're gonna try to get Bruce's own platform going so he can continue his ministry and his outreach in this digital format, this virtual format that we all have the opportunity to do so and get our messages out, ladies and gentlemen. But this has been fantastic. We thank everybody. Thank you all for hanging out with us the next hour. We know Bruce has a 2:00 appointment. The chairman of the board will be in Indian Trail, North Carolina, Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, from 6 to 9, playing a concert there. Then we'll be at Emerald Isle, North Carolina on Saturday, out on the ocean one last time before the fall. There's bands listed. If you want the details, go to www.thechairmanoftheboard.com.
Absolutely. And make sure y'all connect with Bruce Beckman on Facebook as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
We're gonna start getting his following up and start getting ready for his show. Thank you. Steph Smith says wonderful show as well.
Steph,
Thank you.
what's happening? What's happening? Yeah, we thank you guys for joining us. Yeah, shout out to Ken Knox, the whole chairman of the board, the executives, Mellow Groove. Praise and Faith was here today. My dad, Our Power, my mom, Touch of Faith, my sister, Smooth Sales, my brother, our Earth, Wind, and Fire family, Honeycomb family, Juan Velasquez, Cruise Planners, all you guys, Juju Lee Events. If you guys didn't see my episode of Women Worth and Weddings. Go over there and check that out on
Yes.
YouTube. But Juju Lee events
It was
featuring
good.
Midas. It was good stuff.
It was a good interview.
Yeah. Closing words, guys. We know Bruce has a 2:00 appointment for the computer. We don't want him to be late.
I'm about to go get these kids from school. Y'all have a nice week. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you. We'll see y'all next
Thank
week.
you guys,
Peace.
man. Love you.
Yeah, Bruce. Stay